made it to Boston. Let's go check out my hotel room. Okie dokie. So right off the bat, little bathroom. Didn't get a suite this time. Just a regular room. Bed, nice view. We're on the 6th floor. Oh my God, there's a random man in the chair.
Well, hello, Clarice.
You guys, this is my husband, Christian. If you haven't seen him in videos before, he came with me to Boston this time because I have 2 appointments in 2 days, and he is here to help me out, keep me calm, and chill with me as we move through this little change of plans and trials here. What do you have to say about your first time in Boston so far?
Well, so far, I don't know. I've been here all of like 10 minutes. I've seen the airport and the inside of this hotel. And I guess the parking garage, which was smelly.
And you've been through the tunnels.
Yeah, there was lots of tunnels.
We're gonna go get some dinner at Legal Seafoods, and
Yeah, it's lightly fried fish fillet. It's spelled SCROD.
yep.
Don't know if it's scrod or scrod.
Scrod.
It's lightly fried fish fillets.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is.
Yeah. Thank you for coming with me this time.
You're welcome. You look like you needed the help.
Yeah. Good morning. So we're doing something new for both of us today. We're going to take the metro, or the T is what it's called out here, out to the city for the hospital.
What did you call it?
It's called the T.
The tea.
The T line.
Does that make this tea time?
Tea time. It's tea time. We went to Tate for breakfast, and it was really good.
Yeah.
We're really happy. So we're going to head over to the hospital now. Going to do the paperwork signing for the new trial.
Something a little different that you're probably not used to hearing on her vlogs. I want to do a little comparison. Things are definitely different out here. Just the food alone seems like softer almost. Like, I had a strawberry salad this morning. Even the lettuce seemed to be a little bit more soft than what it is out in California. It's more tough in California. I don't know why that is. People don't meet your eyes when you're walking around downtown. Like, in California, we go, "What's up, bud?" To everybody. Everybody makes eye contact. Out here, nobody makes eye contact. And it's kind of weird. And I was talking to Joanna about this earlier today. Like, we make eye contact in California and do that. What's up? Just to make sure nobody's being dangerous or weird or what have you. And out here, if you do that, you're the weird one. I can't make eye contact with anybody on the street. It's freaking me out.
14 minutes.
All right, we're finally back at the hotel, and it is 11:30 at night. We went to the appointment, and all I did today again was sign paperwork for the new trial on the same drug. So everyone got to meet Christian. That was great. Tomorrow we have to leave really early in the morning because I have a CT scan and then an MRI, and then we have to go upstairs for phlebotomy to have my blood work done, and the appointment to start the new trial, essentially, but really to check me out, make sure everything still looks good. I didn't expect to have scans this week, so that's kind of that was kind of sprung on me. They were like, we should probably get scans. It's been since May, essentially. So I'm honestly glad I'm gonna have Christian there with me for that, because like it gives me anxiety regardless. Like I can handle MRIs and CTs well. I don't get claustrophobic, but like having to go through so much all at once, especially when it's unexpected, is like freaks me out. Sometimes it's all internalized, you know, probably not healthy. We're gonna leave super early because we are going to take the T over there again, because it honestly takes about the same amount of time as a lift does in the morning for me. But we have to walk over to the T line and, you know, do that, get into State Street. The red line is unfortunately closed for maintenance until the 25th. Otherwise, we just take that right over to the, like, switch and take that right over to the hospital. But it's closed, so we have to get on a bus. And the bus has to fight through traffic and make its stops. And it took us about 45 minutes today to make it through. So I'm giving us an extra 15 tomorrow to fight through traffic in a bus. But all in all, it was a good day. What did you think of meeting the team?
The team was nice. Definitely a little different. As previously mentioned, you tend to not make eye contact here. It's just like a unwritten rule. It's almost like a culture shock. It's a very minute one. Communication's definitely different among them, but they're very friendly in their, even though it's different.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I'm glad you got to meet them. You're going to see more of the actual process tomorrow and really what it all entails. So I'm no longer a patient in the Tremere Center, which is where you guys have seen me for the last 10 months. What are we in, August? 9 months? So for the last 9 months, you've seen me in the Tremere Center. I'm on the same floor, just a couple offices down in the actual sarcoma patient building or office. So that's new. I won't see my regular people regularly anymore. However, I'll probably stop by and say hi because I just love them so much. They're so sweet. So anyways, that was pretty much it for today. After we left the hospital, we walked around the Boston Commons. We went and did a Boston Harbor Museum tour and walked back to the T station and came back to Assembly Row and watched a movie at the theater, and then went and had some after theater nachos and drinks, and finally came back to the hotel. It was just a long day. We did a lot of walking, more than we probably realize. Like something like what, 17,000, 18,000 steps, you think?
Something like that.
Yeah. We didn't have our watches on, so we couldn't count the miles, but we did a lot. We've had a lot of fun today. So that's a nice perk to having him come out for medical reasons. It's nice to have him with me. So good night. We will see you tomorrow morning, bright and early, for scans and doctor's appointment. Okay, so we're back from Boston. It's been
1 week since you left.
a few days and then some since we actually got back. So, but what did you talk about? Your experience with the actual doctor's appointment and how you feel about the fact that I was doing that trip in like 36 hours with the doctor's appointment and all that. Almost every week.
All right, so we'll start with your first part. The doctors over there were nice. A little bit like me in that sometimes it's difficult to communicate with people, especially about topics that unless you're in that particular field, you're not going to understand. So yeah, some of it went over my head as far as that goes, but I think that they knew that I didn't know, if that makes sense. So that just made it's like if I went down to Mexico, I would understand a little bit of Spanish and they would probably recognize that I only understand a little bit of Spanish. So the communication just wasn't quite there. And they didn't have the answer I was looking for, which was, hey, how long can we keep going on this trial? What is the amount of prescription medication available for this? So, which, at least if I knew the pill count, or at least even a rough estimate, I could, do some basic division and figure out, okay, how many pills a day, how many days is that, okay, then how many people are actually on this trial. But they were nice. They tried their best. As far as doing this in a 36-hour period, so going from a 4-day to a day-and-a-half period, it's kind of a mixed bag, because on the one hand, I experience this almost on a daily. I take a bad ride from location A, and 100 miles and 8 to 10 hours later, I arrive at my destination and I'm stuck there. So I've found ways to entertain myself, not only throughout the trip by thinking crazy thoughts, because I can't do anything but look out a window or look at screens that tell me that the computer's messing up, and desperately I want to take over and fix all of their mistakes. But I found a way to entertain myself, to relieve stress, to do that, and there's really not the opportunity for you to do that, because even if you took away the flight times like you would take away my work times, you still have to get to the hospital, have this stressful meeting, go back to wherever you have to in the interim, and be prepared for your flight. So it is quite a lot, and I wish that we could change that. I do. There's not a lot I can do about that. Short of we just moved to Boston. Which, Boston's a nice city. It is. It's definitely different from West Coast. West Coast is mostly desert. You can argue against that. Say, no, it's not yet. Yeah, it is. If you actually look at a map, most of California is desert. We just happen to shove things down nature's throat and say, no, this is no longer a desert. This is paradise. It's not. Right. We are supposed to be like, what was it? The 8th or the 3rd or something largest economy in the world.
I want to say California is either the 4th or the 6th largest world economy. I know one of our comments, I mean, the economy of California doesn't really have anything to do with what we're saying, but as far as niceness and desertness goes, like, I know one of our comments out in Boston was how green it was on the East Coast. Oh my God.
Well, it's not beautiful. Just that for me. It's the greenery is nice, and the trees are actually pretty. Unlike, we have some pretty trees in California. Don't get me wrong. Some of our trees are pretty. But have you seen all the forest fires and such? I mean, most of our hills are now like some kind of ashy, black, gray grossness.
Or just dead trees.
That too. They won't. I don't have enough time to go cut my wood. And it's not a euphemism. I burn wood for the winter. I have a wood stove. Yes, I'm a California resident. Yes, I cut my own wood. Yes, I stack my own wood. Yes, I burn my own wood.
I love you, but your rants are making like no sense.
Sorry, I know that this is going on the worldwide interwebs, so, at some point we're going to get those stupid comments from stupid people who are like, oh, you Californians, all you do is, drink your Starbucks coffee and talk about how long it takes you to get anywhere in your cars, your Teslas and EV. No. Guilty. You don't have an electronic vehicle. Well, you have electronics in your vehicle, but it's a gas vehicle. Yeah. We don't have an electric vehicle.
How much of my money goes to Starbucks?
That's been a point of contention for years.
Hence my beautiful cup collection that
oh my God.
Is probably only 2/3 of it.
At this point, with the at least half a decade of doing this stuff, I would argue a lot longer, but we'll say half a decade of this stuff. Either own it, you are a Starbucks girl, or just stop.
When have I not owned it?
You just... That's not owning it, that's shame.
I'm ashamed, but I own it.
Those are diametrically opposed.
I own my shame.
Places in your mind.
The Starbucks employees the other day noted the number of points that I have on my app and told me I needed to come in and just get some cups because they have new cups.
The baristas, or baristos, the dudes and the not dudes that operate those facilities need to mind their own business. All right?
Except we are so far off topic.
Fair.
I love you.
I love you too.
Anyways, the important stuff about this week's visit is that the IND, the Individualized Trial, Compassionate Care Trial, whatever they want to call it, has officially started. So, what that means is that I'm going to have the majority of my blood work done here. I might have my imaging done here. I'm not sure. Dr. Cote is trying to make it so that I don't have to come out nearly as often as the company is saying that I have to. And what the company is saying right now is every 3 months. What I think they actually mean is every 3 cycles, which, as far as I can tell, is every 63 days or so, unless they mean at the end of the 3rd cycle, starting at the beginning of the 4th cycle, which would make it 84 days. That would really be closer to every 3 months, which would be nice, because every 63 days is still every 2 months. I still have to journal my times on when I take it, which is obnoxious. I just want to take my pills and not have to write anything down. I know that seems really such a small thing to have to write it down, but I just want to take my medication and leave me alone about it. You don't need to know. It's not that big of a deal. You're not testing my drug levels. You're not doing all that fancy stuff anymore. I'm just getting blood work to make sure that it's helping me and not hurting me. And anyways,
Did you... No, it's too early. You didn't get the scans back from
I
this
did.
last trip. You did?
Yeah.
You got an actual, like, radiologist's opinion or whatever?
Yeah. Nothing's changed since May. Except apparently sometime between May and now, I fractured my 6th left rib. And,
Well,
or at least it was noted that I fractured my 6th left rib and it has healed. And I cannot think of any time in the last year that I have had that kind of pain. So, I don't know.
One thing did change. At least the doctor said that potentially you have tumors on your head.
No. Okay, so what they were seeing were my moles.
For sure?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because where they were looking, where they were like, there's like bumps on your head. In your images, we can see them. And they started looking, and they were like, oh, that's a mole. Oh, that's a mole. Oh, that's a mole. And I'm like, do you have bumps on your head? Have you felt any? I'm like, oh, yeah, I have moles. I do. Also, fun fact that I've known about for a while, but I didn't bring to my Dr. Cote's attention until recently because I kept forgetting, is my aunt has neurofibromatosis, which is NF type 1 mutation, and it's just on one half of her face and shoulder and chest. EHE is actually an NF type 2 mutation. So it's not like directly related, but it's a similar mutation to the mutation that causes neurofibromatosis. So he's going to possibly contact the company that did my genetic typing for the specific mutation that I have for EHE, which is the CAMTA1 mutation, and see if they have enough tissue to test for the NF type 1 mutation, just to see if I have it. And he said that we should get Kendrick checked out at his next pediatric appointment. Not checked out, but like just tell his pediatrician about it.
Yeah.
Because it's a closely related family member.
I'm not sure what the doctor would actually do as a pediatrician. But okay.
Yeah, there's nothing you can do to treat it, but it's good to know because I guess it can cause issues.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it can cause learning disorders, which that's new to me. I didn't know that. His only learning disorder is that he's stupid freaking smart for his age. In conclusion,
Yeah.
Christian really liked Boston, and he liked my doctors out there. And something I want to point out that I've noted, I don't often take my family members to my doctor's appointments anymore because there's a common trend that my mom and I have talked about, and maybe you and I have talked about before, is that my doctors will talk to my husband or my mother in an appointment for me, rather than address me. I'm the patient, and it's a problem. They didn't really address you much.
Mm-hmm.
I think they were happy to see you there and see my support system,
Mm-hmm.
but they addressed me. And that was really nice. It felt really validating to have my doctors address me as the patient rather than addressing you unless you were specifically asking a question.
Yeah. And they're not rude.
Yeah.
Like, I know that that's something that you think would be just common sense. Like, hey, don't have a no. I'm still fuming, and if I somehow were able to rewind time, I would punch that lady right in the face. That gal where you were like, hey, how is this going to affect my children? She was like, why would you have children if you're just going to die? Like,
Yeah.
That ruffled my jimmies.
I know, and you weren't even there for that.
Nope.
I'm glad you got to see the city that really has my heart, and that you liked it.
Yeah.
And then we got to do some fun stuff there
Yeah.
together.
All right, bye, Z's.
All right, well, thank you for watching this week. I'll be back to the Baking Through Betty series soon. I just needed a little break for things to get kind of less crazy after the travel and then work. And then I'm going to be going back to my day shifts, so video posting days might be a little wonky. I'll probably start posting on Saturdays consistently rather than Mondays or Wednesdays. Anyways, thank you for watching. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments. I will do my best to answer them if I didn't answer them in this vlog already. And
Ask me questions too.
you can ask him questions too.
Just don't be surprised if it turns into some kind of crazy rant that had nothing to do with your original question.
Yeah, you can ask him questions just for your own entertainment. Anyways, I love you.
I love you too.
Bye, guys.
Bye, Z's.